Hey there. I thought tonight what I would share with you is what an evening in my mind can look like. How does my mind work as it iterates through various ideas that may or may not give me anxiety, but always entertain me? It's rarely a night of being focused on one idea or one event or one of anything, actually. The only time Generally, the only time I can do that is when I deliberately focus on something, and that usually involves writing it down or putting it into my computer somehow, getting it out of my brain and someplace else outside so I can look at it from there. So, with that, hi, I'm Steve. This is Awake with Steve, where I share with you the ideas that cause me to stay awake at night, keep me up. They may be ideas that cause anxiety. They may be just ideas I find kind of fun to toy around with. So here we go. So taking a train analogy for what my mind feels like when I'm getting ready to go to sleep. It's kind of like a train rushing down the tracks, and all of a sudden it'll jump to another track and take off in another direction, and then jump to another track. There's always, as I seem to go through these processes of thinking about a particular subject, there's something that triggers a whole new train of thought, and I'm off and running. So what I did one night, as I was sitting in the hot tub getting ready to go to bed, trying to relax a little bit, as I wrote down kind of the major things that my brain jumped through. So the first one was just why humans feel inferior, why they don't feel like they can take credit for their accomplishments. And this kind of comes out of, well, historically, I'll go into it. That comes out of my teenage years originally, that started me on that journey. And I got out of it eventually, but I'll do a video on that too. So, and then we went into quantum consciousness. How is it possible for the brain to connect with the quantum world, and what that might look like? And it's interesting in its own right. And that took me over to lost civilizations. We've been taught a history in our classes, in our schooling, in our colleges, even to a great extent, a cultural history of what our past was like. And what we're finding out more and more is we don't know a good deal of what was in our past. So I kind of ruminated over lost civilizations and what we're finding and what we might find, which got me into the Black Death, and how scientists are starting to think that the horsemen of the Central Asian steppes, somewhere around 10,000 years ago or so, actually came over into Europe, and they brought with them the Black Death, which wiped out the farmers. And so that's a thought that, or a theory that they're working through, a hypothesis, if you will. Yamanani, something like that. When I do the video, I'll have the proper pronunciation and spelling of that name. And that got me into the whole 12,000 years ago in Turkey, what would have been like, these ruins that we're finding, these rock works, stoneworks. They may or may not have been villages. They may have just been temples of some sort, temporary dwellings. Kind of got me running on that whole idea of what that would be like to have a civilization that wasn't based on agriculture. That's okay. And that kind of got me back into the humans feeling inferior. Why we can't take what we've done and say, yes, we're smart enough to have done that. So anyway, I'm going to try and guide you through what my brain was going through, and give you some idea of where my videos come from. And I'm going to attempt to create a series of YouTube videos working through the things I've mentioned here and probably a few others that help elucidate kind of my thought processes when I'm in these modes of thinking. So, and part of the reason for me doing this is just writing them down, writing these things down, creating scripts for the videos, doing the videos, helps me to understand better the topics that I'm working on and how my brain works with those topics. And it also introduces new questions, which gives me new things to look at and, to a great extent, new things to ponder. So I don't see this going away in my life anytime soon. So thank you for joining me. I hope you'll join me on this journey that I'm going through. So talk to you later. Bye.